Hi, Trent University.
Welcome to the Archives. The University Archives is located on the first floor of the Bata Library. Right now we're in the Northway Reading Room. This is where our researchers come to access and use our materials. Materials in the University Archives do not circulate. You can't check them out and bring them home, but you're always welcome to use them here. They don't leave our property because they are original and rare material.
Right behind me is the Trent University Theses collection, encompassing graduate work done from the 1960s all the way to about 2020. It is no longer a requirement for students to submit a print thesis. We do have a digital collection available on our digital collections website. The theses are ordered alphabetically by author's last name. Behind me, this wall is all master's theses, and then towards the end of the shelving to my left are the PhDs. So behind me now is the open resources here at Trent University talking about the history of Trent. With the exception of just behind me, this is our genealogical reference section for researchers who are studying genealogy or family history. So in these boxes encompass a lot of the general history of Trent. So we have what's called vertical files on various topics. So on the colleges, for example, you'll find records there. Behind me is the university photo collection. So events, faculty, staff, etc., campus shots, all are within these boxes here. Then we get into convocation material and programming, academic calendars, also major research reports that were done over time. On this side of the wall behind me, we're getting into directories, alumni information, the Trent Arthur, and some academic archival journals.
The Northway Reading Room includes several map cabinets. This is where we keep maps, architectural drawings, posters, and other oversized material that doesn't fit into our standard boxes. So one example are these Trent Canal charts of Stony Lake. We have a lot of maps and drawings of the Trent Severn Waterway, and this is just one of many. So you'll soon see that we have a lot of boxes in the archives. We actually have 10 kilometers of boxes in the archives. And those boxes are full of all kinds of things like meeting minutes and diaries and letters. These are the very early letters from Francis Stewart, who was an early settler in the area. Letters like this, letters sent back home and then to England or Ireland, and then letters sent here to what will become Canada, tells us a lot about life and times for those early settlers in the area. So welcome to the Manuscript Room here at the Trent University Archives. This is a space that the public doesn't normally access. It's where we store our archival material. Because archival material is rare, one of a kind, and unique, and it looks like mostly things in boxes, it's not browsable. Our stacks aren't browsable by the public. Instead, people search up our holdings on the archives database, they use our finding aids, or they contact us and we help to connect them with their materials. But we're going to show you a little bit of where we store our stuff and how it's stored. Our collection is threefold. We have material documenting Trent University. That includes Trent University administrative records, so the records of the Office of the President, the Board of Governors, the Senate, departments and faculties, as well as we have an open collection of material about Trent, photographs, yearbooks, Arthur, and material like that in our reading room where people can very easily access Trent history. And then we also have a collection of private records. These are the records of individuals and organizations that are related to Trent, people like Trent faculty, Trent alumni, student organizations, and then people and families and organizations that are related to the Trent Valley area. So we also document early settlement and early industry in the area, as well as a bit of the Indigenous history of this land as well. So I'm going to show you some of the things that we have here in the Manuscript Room. On my right are our assessment rolls. These are tax assessment rolls for local townships dating back to the 19th century. These are used a lot by family historians who want to understand their ancestors who lived in the area, as well as people that want to study their buildings, their houses that they live in, the history of those houses. These cabinets actually have Trent course syllabi in them. Those are used not only to remember and understand how teaching has evolved at Trent over the years, but people also ask for them when they're applying for graduate programs and they need to demonstrate what they learned in their courses. So they have really high evidential value as well. We have boxes of newspaper clippings about Trent, capturing each year and how Trent was represented in the media and some of the major events that happened at Trent as well. This is where we put our material that's going to get shredded, because it's always our obligation to protect privacy here at the Trent University Archives, especially things like student information. So we put material there to be kept securely and shredded. Here we have our emergency response procedures in case there was to be a climate disaster, a fire, a flood. We know what records need to get saved and what our procedures are for making sure that material with high value gets rescued as well. This is where we keep our new acquisitions that have come in that are waiting for us to process. So for us in the archives, material comes in looking like this, just in boxes that people give it to us in, and then we rehouse material in acid-free boxes and folders and arrange it and describe it and make finding aids, and then it sits on our other shelves where people can call it up and access it. So this is where we house a lot of Trent's administrative records. We organize them into groupings called record groups. So for example, the Office of the President is RG1, Record Group 1, Vice President RG2, and so on and so forth. It's really important to keep Trent's university records or administrative records because they help us to understand the development of the university, the development of the disciplines, the teaching and the research that happens at the university, but they also hold really important evidential and fiscal value for the university. People can look back and read a deed of gift and understand the terms of that gift, for example, or understand why a decision was made or when a policy was passed. So it's really important that we act as a house of memory for Trent, where we remember the decisions that Trent has made, the actions that it's taken, and that helps us to move forward as a university as well.
We are currently standing in the Michael Treadwell Reading Room. This space is meant to preserve early Trent and the aesthetics that Ron Thom, the architect, intended for Trent. So all the furnishings you see in here are original. Behind me, we have these bookshelves of Margaret Lawrence's reading room. This is her personal library. She was a chancellor in Trent in the early 80s. And so we inherited her personal library and it was brought here for preservation. So right now I'm standing in the special collections. The Trent University Archives is responsible for housing and maintaining the collection. The collection goes around me in a U. We start with our general special collections. It loops around. We have our Trent collection, which is faculty and alumni papers as well as local histories. I am currently standing in the Holm, Chalmers, and Feinberg and Hunter collections. So this encompasses Canadiana, early works in literature, including Walt Whitman's materials, and Ernest Tom and Seton is behind me as well. There's just over 13,000 volumes within our special collections. Some of our collection strengths encompass what Trent faculty and research has happened over the years, including Canadian studies and Canadiana, Arctic and Northern explorations, and Indigenous studies. So as you can see here at Trent University Archives, we are not just books. On this table before me is just a very small sample of other material and ephemera that we have in our collections. So before me, you can see that we have university records groups, private papers, special collection and rare books, photographs, tapes, diaries, letters, and more. The archives is open to everyone.
We hope to see you soon.